welcome to Sequel Podcast number 22. I'm Matthew Bonta.
I'm Melissa Hoffman.
Are you sure?
Well, we'll see by the end of the call. I might be something different.
You very well could be, because last time we had you on, you thought you were somebody else at the end of the show.
I know, I'm such an idiot. I'm so used to saying it. It kind of rolls off the tongue now.
You should have kept that name.
I don't know. I mean,
It's gonna be famous one day.
Well, you know, but maybe the Hoffman name should be the famous one.
No.
Well, both should be famous. But I don't want any confusion when that happens. Because once you get famous, people would be like, oh, are you related? Is he your brother? Is he your own? And I'd be like, no. It would be confusing.
Well, you don't know what the future's gonna bring. Melster,
I don't know.
Smelster.
No one does. But when you're not here to talk about the future.
So this will be the first in an ongoing series, from what I understand.
Yes. So what are we calling this? The memory cast?
This is the story of our lives.
The story of our lives. I think that's a good name for it. Yeah. And we're going to be the only listeners because everyone's like, who fucking cares?
That's not true. Besides you, Kelly also listens to these podcasts. So I've got...
So she'll be listening to this one?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Hi, Kelly. Thank you for listening. Much appreciated.
She told me what her routine is she'll just kind of wake up in the morning, kick back for an hour, and just listen to a podcast.
So cool. I think that's a really good way of doing it. That's a good way of approaching the day and starting everything off.
But you know what? You two can't be the only people, because I check my views fairly often, and the average has got to be 3. So there's someone out there listening.
I wonder who it could be. It's a mystery listener.
It's, you know what? And the first episode with Kelly on there has like 12. It might have more now.
Who's listening?
I don't know. Who out there is listening to these podcasts? Please let your voices be heard. Leave comments. Give me likes. Give me feedback. I would like to know.
No, they're just gonna silently sit back and listen and not let you know who they are or if they're liking them or not. It's just gonna drive you crazy.
No, it won't. I'll be fine. It would suck if there's a stalker out there.
Yeah. Well, that'd be kind of cool.
No, the stalkers are not cool.
It would be cool because if there's a stalker, that means someone's interested enough, to check out your stuff. So, I mean, that's how fandom starts, right? With stalkers.
No. Stalker is a negative connotation. Stalker is not a good thing. It's negative, not positive. What is wrong with you?
You would love to have a stalker.
No, I would not love to have a stalker. Not some crazy person with a knife ready to fucking jump at me and shoot me like Jared Leto in Chapter 27.
Well, yeah, but if you have a stalker, that means you're famous. Or you're famous to somebody.
No, because people get restraining orders who are non-famous. People have stalkers who are not famous, Melissa.
Yeah, but you're famous to somebody. You're somebody's world.
A local celebrity, Matthew Bonta, was killed today by a stalker.
Aww. He died in a blaze of famous glory.
One blaze of glory.
Rent.
Yes, very smart. You are super intelligent. I don't care what anyone says about you. Well,
okay, so
you ready to get started? Am I going to do all the talking?
I think you're going to do most of the talking. I'm really here just to ask questions.
Is this going to be like a reverse Notebook?
Yeah, exactly. I have the worst memory of anyone under, like,
No,
85 years
Dakota's
old.
got a much worse memory than you do.
I don't
No,
know about that.
Dakota's memory sucks dick, okay?
I don't know about that.
It's true. Um,
Um,
so, so we're going to go through the years, and this is going to be the first episode of us going through the years of our relationship. Just so that Melissa can look back someday when she's got a loving husband and is like, what the fuck is this? And same goes for me.
and I'll
You need
end
to
the
delete
series of
that.
podcast with, no matter who I get with, Matt, I will always love you the most. You'll always be special in my heart. And then I'll go through my second divorce.
Yeah, no shit. I was looking up on the internet today, and I found this podcast. This is bullshit.
Really though, I was listening back to some older podcasts, and I was just kind of thinking, I was mulling around in my head that our relationship was kind of epic. And
We did have an epic relationship.
Yeah.
Apologies to future relationships.
No, I'm gonna be a spinster. I'm gonna be a cat lady.
All right. Well, I don't really remember what I said or did, but I do know that back in 2005. How far do you want me to go back before our first time that we went out, or start with that?
Yeah, I mean, since this is going to be our first year, let's just kind of go over like how it developed, how we even started, because it's not like you just called me out of the blue, which you kind of did.
I did, but
I
mean, I've thought about it a lot recently, and thinking that it really wasn't out of the blue, that there was a suggestion implanted in my brain, like everything, like I think I want to eat Cheetos, so I'm going to go eat Cheetos or something.
So you saw like a commercial where they had Melissa, and then you're like, ooh, Melissa.
No, I saw you, and I was like that. But it was more
Okay.
like, it was like something that I probably threw away that just kind of grew, so...
Well, I mean, so that's a really good starting point. So you don't remember when it was that you kind of just, like, saw me and decided that that's a girl I want to date?
Yeah, well, okay, here, let me start this off right. Okay, so...
Yeah.
we went to high school together. I was a senior and you were a freshman. But beyond that, like, you auditioned for the plays, but I didn't really know you. I didn't get to know you until later on when I would go back and hang out and help out. And you kind of, your personality grew there. And I didn't really like you at all. So,
Right. You hated me, in fact.
well, you know what? And I did. But it was just like a clash of personalities kind of thing. Like, you were very boisterous and obnoxious.
I was obnoxious.
You're
Yikes.
still obnoxious.
Hey. You love it.
Coupon.
Coupon. Inside joke.
Inside joke. Hold on, let me bring up the calendar here really quick.
Yeah.
Because I looked, so we want to go back to the year 2005.
Oh, the year 2005. That was 8 years ago.
We'll start with May of 2005. So in May of 2005, let's go with Friday, May 6th, I believe is the date. And that was, I want to say, when Grease closed, and that was the cast party of Grease at Time TJ's place. Actually, yeah, no, that was it. And everybody was there, and everybody was dancing, and I was dancing with Allie, right? Right. And then she went to go talk to her boyfriend, who was Mike. And so you danced with me in her place. and you were like, I know you would rather be dancing with Ali, blah 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 blah. And also later on, I was kind of sitting there, I think, bullshitting with Eric, Patrick's brother. And you were telling me, like, I'm not friends with the Kyles anymore, so, you know, why don't you like me, and blah, blah, blah. And Eric was like, just plead the fifth. And I was like, okay, I plead the fifth. Do you remember this?
I do, very vaguely. I mean, you know, I look back on the person that I was, and how I was 16, right? I was 16, and I was just, you know, I would never do that kind of stuff now, you know? I would never bug you like that, but I
And
guess it's good that I did.
that's when you planted the seed in my brain that you liked me.
Oh, gosh.
And you know what? That's how I work, is like, I'm like, oh, I hate these commercials, these don't work, that product looks stupid, that movie looks stupid. You see it enough and fucking suddenly you want that drink or you want to go see that movie.
Yeah.
Like I was asking you yesterday, what was that movie that I didn't like and then I liked? It ended up being something else, but I remember The Constant Gardener. They kept playing that trailer, and I was like, that movie doesn't look good at all. It looks stupid. And we kept seeing that trailer, and then I read a review that said it was really, really good. And we went and saw the fucking movie, and I was like, I'm never going to go see that stupid movie. Then we went and saw it, and I liked that movie. And I haven't seen it since, but I do like that movie. I probably should watch it again.
Yeah.
But so that was the first planting of the seed, and you did that, and you didn't even realize you did that. You were just trying to be nice and be my friend, and I was trying to get up in them guts.
I mean, the similarities between
kidding.
then me and the now me is that I can't stand when people don't like me. Like, if there's someone out there that's kind of like an enemy, I want to fix it. I want to make it better. And I thought you were awesome. You know, you were one of like the top drama people.
The elites, as they used to call them.
Yeah, you know, like with Corey Fortson and Brandon and everybody that I like so looked up to. And I was just like, it really sucks that he doesn't like me. How do I get him to like me?
I was of that second group of elites.
What's that?
I said I was of the second group of elites.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
You weren't there. You weren't there.
I wasn't there, I don't know. Quick question though, do you remember what song we danced to?
No, do you?
I might be thinking of Ashley's house.
Ashley's house?
Because I remember our first dance, and so it had to have been Ty and TJ's then, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, it was at Ashley's house.
I've never been to her house.
I don't know when that was in the timeline, though.
I've never been to Ashley's house. Oh, no, okay. Different Ashley. Okay, I know what you're talking about. That comes later. I'm not there yet.
Okay, sorry. I'm just, okay. Ty and TJ's house, I'm picturing it in my head. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, so that was that night. And I know this was that night because everybody fucking stayed up late and got up late. And the next day we went and saw Untamed, which was the like Saturday Night Live type sketch show that Greg did at TMCC. And the next day, like, people were supposed to come over to my place and watch some cult classics. And Ty and TJ came over, and Eric brought Patrick for the first time to hang out. So that was the first time he hung out with anybody, and that's when I started calling him Patty, which I guess fucking... That was me, by the way. I was the one that started that. That was me.
Started that? Wow. Wow, because, like, man, everyone called... At one point, everyone called him Patty.
Yeah, and now...
Everyone that we know.
And now no one does. And then when, some of our listening audience, Kelly, when she started hanging out and doing this movie, all she does is call him as Patty. And I was like, where the fuck did that come from? I started that. That's mine. You hear that, Kelly? I started it.
Wait, I think Kelly is a girl you.
She is. And, I was thinking about this. She's like the sister I never had. Apologies to my sisters. And Patrick is the brother I never had. Apology to my brother.
Yeah.
Those two are the only ones that give me a run for my money with movies and such. So,
and the new Trinity.
It's the new Trinity, and I'm always the one that's starting these Trinities. So, It was you. It was you, me, and Eric that summer, but we're not there yet. Okay, so just hold on. All right. So
Sorry.
everybody came over, and that was 2005. Hold on, fuck, I lost it. Okay, so 2005, May 2005. That was the 6th, and that was a Friday. That Saturday, we went and saw Untamed, and everybody was there. I showed them Clerks, and maybe Pink Flamingos, but I doubt it. And then we all went and saw Untamed, and you were there, and Mike was there, and that was the first time Mike met Patrick, and he was calling him Patio. He threw an O at the end of it. Eric was going out with Brittany, and Mike and Allie were there also. And we went and got Porta Subs afterwards. This was something Patrick reminded me of on a previous podcast. But we went to Porta Subs afterwards, and then we didn't know what we were going to... Oh, Christina Fendel was there too. And we went to the movie theater, and she was going to get us in to go see The Interpreter, but no one wanted to see it. Mike and Allie ended up staying, and Christina got a handful of tokens, and we all went over to Atlantis. And then there, Mikey showed up with his then girlfriend and his buddy and his girlfriend, because they would always go to the Atlantis to play DDR. So this was the 7th. This was the Saturday. And then everybody went back to my house, and they all crashed at my place, and I put on Near Dark, and that was that day. The following Friday, Friday the 13th, May 2005, we all went to the skating rink. Everybody was there again, even more fucking people. And fucking Jason comes out at the skating rink whenever it's Friday the 13th, and it's fucking awesome. It's fucking amazing. I had a great time. That was my idea. I got everyone together to do that. No one would have thought to go, let's go skating, but I did it, and it wasn't just a couple people. It was fucking everybody. Everybody went. That was back when I used to be able to get people together. I can't get people together to save my life anymore.
But, it's crazy because it's like, I was wondering, I just went along for the ride because I was just like, I need to get out and do things. And I'm like, who thought of going to the skating rink? And it's funny because in these group activities that we did, I was never really sure whose idea it was initially. It was just kind of like, everyone's going to blank, and are you coming? And that was your idea.
Definitely, because I didn't know if they still did the Jason thing on Friday the 13th, and they did, and it was fucking awesome. Key fact of this, I hadn't started liking you yet, okay? I hadn't started liking you yet. But you did plant that seed a week before. You didn't know how to skate, so you were hugging the wall the entire time, and I skated by and I slapped your ass. That's the main event of the night.
That is so memorable, because after you did that, I just stood there and I was like, what just happened? and to put this in perspective, this was the first real pass that any man had made on me. Any boy, I guess, at that time.
Any person.
And let alone that, it was from someone who I thought hated me. And so I'm like, what is going on here? My mind was blown.
I think it was more of me just fucking with you than anything else.
I know, but I couldn't figure it out. You were fucking with me because it was fucking my brain up. I didn't know how to interpret it.
All right. So now we get to the next week. It's probably a Saturday. It's got to be May the 21st, I believe. And this was Eric Steelman's birthday party. We went and saw The Longest Yard, and we went to... that might have been later. We went to Wild Island. Eric Steelman has a birthday party at Wild Island, or the Coconut Bowl. And it was there that I was looking forward to seeing you. I was looking forward to seeing you this time. So I guess all these previous times I was still hanging out with Kyle Dede. And it was pretty much right here where I stopped hanging out with Kyle Dede. And so it was that 21st, that Saturday. And I was looking forward to seeing you. And I don't... Oh, yeah, okay, that's what it was. We were at the Coconut Bowl, and then from the Coconut Bowl, we went to the movie theater. I don't remember what the seating was. I'm pretty sure Eric and Mike were behind me, and they were throwing shit at me at one point. Dickheads. So after that, I was.
So wait, hang on. Quick note about the movies. So, what was your signature move that you used to do that the crowd loved so much?
Oh well, I don't think I did it at the longest yard, but I definitely did it later. We'll get there because it's still in this year.
Okay.
So I'll wait. I'll wait to get there. That's good. That's good. Remind me to bring that up. So we saw the longest yard, and I think I might have been sitting next to you, or I definitely wanted to be. And then, if you remember, there was that one bitch that was there, and she didn't last much longer after this. What the fuck was her name? Amber. I think her name was Amber.
Yes, I guess I remember Amber.
And after the movie, we all went to Denny's, and I wanted to get a ride with you to Denny's. But Amber got in there, and Eric's like, "Oh, I can give you a ride," and I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks, I appreciate it." And then, so everybody was at Denny's, and we had a big old long table, and you were down a little ways, and it was me, Eric, Christina, and Kyle at the other end, and Eric's eating like a big plate of something, because that's Eric. He fucking throws money out like it's no. He's like the only person that had a job. Because when we went to the Atlantis, he pulled out a 20 and got a whole bunch of fucking tokens, and he was the only person that was ever fucking buying anything. Because when we were there, we were like, let's get the sampler plate. The sampler plate. And I remember it was Mike. It was Mike Robinson who was saying that shit. Because let's do it because it's super cheap. And you know what? Mike was the guy that fucking ditched out on paying part of the check. I remember this because Eric's like, what the fuck? I gotta pay for half of Mike's stuff now that he's gone. Because there was only like the four of us at the end. It was me, Eric, Kyle, and Christina. So, Kelly, here's a little backstory of your boyfriend, Mike. So that's him. He fucking only paid a little bit because he doesn't fucking know how to do math.
Calm down, man.
So I'm just getting into the moment of the past is all. I'm not like trying to, Mike, we love you, Mike. And so like that was when it kind of came out because like Kyle knew that I liked you and Eric's like, Matt's got the hots for Melissa? Because this was the first time he found out. And I was like, yeah, I was trying to get a ride with her over to this place when you fucking butted in. It's like, oh, oops, sorry, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember what he said. And then that weekend, the next day, I got your number from Kyle, I believe. And I don't remember if I called you or if I had to have been called you because I didn't have a phone and I didn't text. So I probably used the house phone to call you. Or either I'd sent you a message on MySpace, that ancient technology, or Modblog, which I miss a lot, by the way. Modblog was awesome.
Modblog! Was that taken down?
Yeah, it's not on there. It's not on there. So, that's gone.
That was awesome, man. That was before any other blogging site. That was a blog before blogging was big.
Definitely. And I loved it. But I asked you out that Sunday to go to the movies on the Friday the 27th, and it was Memorial Day weekend, or either Memorial Day weekend had just passed. Wait, hang
on. The weekend that you initially asked me out, I was going to be out of town at a wedding, or the day that you asked me out for, I was going to be out of town for a wedding, so we had to reschedule.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
I know about something for once.
So, but no, it was that 27th. It was that Friday that I asked you out. So maybe I asked you out the Saturday or something. And so I was like, well, what about the Friday instead?
Yeah.
And so I was like, let's go to a movie because that's what I do. I go to movies. Nothing's changed. I still go to movies. Nothing's changed, Melissa. I've been going to movies ever since. So, I asked you to go see Cinderella Man because that was the movie that came out that weekend.
Yep, and like a dumb ditzy chick, I had no idea what that was, and it didn't really matter to me. I was like, sure, Cinderella Man, awesome.
And now you've seen all of Russell Crowe's movies.
It's ridiculous. You've changed me big time. I mean, I'm sure the listening audience can tell as we get through the podcast that I was a totally different person before you.
But yeah, so we went and saw Cinderella Man, and that was our first date. That was date number 1, and
how did that go? Did you enjoy yourself? Were you nervous?
I well, but at that point, I think we were dating. You know, we were boyfriend girlfriend, right? Because I held your hand, didn't I?
We held hands in the theater, and I remember that was really awesome actually, because like it got to the end, it was really suspenseful and tense, and you were like
Squeezing your hand a little bit more
like,
yeah.
Yeah, and then I drove you home, and we kissed, very, innocently.
Oh, did we kiss?
We did, yeah, I kissed on the first date, apparently.
You know what? Well, coming from someone who's never really fucking been on many dates, I just figured, get the awkwardness out and over and out of the way.
Yeah, but it was still like it was still a little bit awkward for me, because it was like, is this the time when I'm supposed to kiss him? But there was no tongue. It was just quick kiss on the lips.
Well, any advice I've ever gotten from like friends is always just like, go for it. Don't fucking dick around. Don't play games. Just go for it. Just do it.
Yeah, because the whole dicking around and just being like, oh, you want to come in, like, and small talk. It's just frustrating.
Yes. So that was date number 1. We didn't go out to eat or anything. We just went and saw the movie, and you brought me home. We were talking about boxing movies, I suppose. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
God, I knew where I was going to go from here, but I forgot. So the next...
Were you going to skip right on to date number 2?
Is there something in between?
I don't think so. You just mastered it a lot.
Nothing's changed.
That's inappropriate. Cut that out.
That's staying in. Okay, so... Fuck, what was the next date? The next date was either... It had to have been Mike's party.
Or was it Allie's birthday party?
It's one of those. I think it was Mike's... No, it was Allie's. It was Allie's party. Looking at the calendar here, her birthday's at the beginning of June. I think it's the 6th, actually. 5 or 6. Something like that. So that would have been that Saturday? Melissa?
Yeah. I think so. I mean,
oh, yes. It was. Okay, here, I remember. Okay, this is what happened. So you were supposed to go help Allie, I think, at her place, but you didn't, because you came over and we watched The Thing, because you'd never seen The Thing and you didn't like it, but you love that movie now.
You guys like The Thing?
Does Melissa like The Thing?
Already made that reference.
Already made that Death Proof reference.
So I didn't like it. Do you remember why I didn't like it? What I didn't like about it?
Oh, maybe you just weren't really paying attention because you were just kind of over there with me.
We weren't making out. We weren't making out.
No, we were just sitting. We were just sitting there. Hadn't made out yet. I know when we do, though.
Yeah. So I think the way that it was, like with The Thing and with movies, it's kind of like a foodie refining their palate. After years of watching movies and being intrigued by them, and then talking to you about them, like I have a totally different outlook on movies now. At that time, I was just like, it was very straightforward. It was Labyrinth. It was Regular Picture Show. It was these silly little movies, and I couldn't really appreciate a movie for all that it was. And now I can. So that's why it's one of my favorite movies now, and I probably was just bits about it then.
And so that was date number 2. You came over, and then I introduced you to my family that same day. Once the movie was over, before we left to go to Allie's place, I was like, do you want to meet my family? So I brought them all in to meet you. Was that awkward?
That was early, man.
Well, I see these movies where women complain about, like, never meeting the guy's mom or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Let me get this out of the way so that it's not an issue later.
You just rush through those, little awkward points. You're like, you know what? Let's just get it done.
Let's fast track this relationship. And then we went over to Allie's place, and she had taco salad. I think Mike was even there. Mike might have been there. Robinson.
Really?
Yeah, maybe. I know Eric showed up, and he had that fucking awkward birthday card about not being able to put a dead cow carcass on the fridge, so he got her that card instead.
Awkward.
And then we watched. So that was just a regular day. I don't remember if we played games or anything. No, we did play a game. We played like that Dirty Minds game, didn't we? Or no, we played Cranium. It was either Cranium or Dirty Minds.
I remember sitting on the ground.
Oh, it was Cranium because fucking Eric Steelman was on our team. I don't remember if we won or if we lost. No, we won because I answered a math question and you couldn't believe that I knew anything about math because you thought I was a fucking idiot. But I'm smarter than you, so go fuck yourself. Do you remember this?
I remember bits and pieces. I remember sitting on the ground. I know Molly was there, obviously. I remember Allie. I remember, I don't know, being kind of giddy that I had a boyfriend, figure.
And then later on, they put on the Aviator, and I kissed you on the forehead for the first time. And you got all happy. And then the night was over, and we all went home or something.
And I drove you home, and you slept at home.
Probably. You drove me to and from everywhere I had to go for the next fucking 6 years, okay?
Yeah.
Until I got a car in 2011. So 6 years, yeah. So 6 years you drove my ass around wherever I needed to go.
So that was the first time we Frenched, and I was like, what is this?
We didn't French that time.
You put me the tongue.
No, not that time.
I remember.
No, it wasn't that time. It was the next week at Mike's party, the following morning after staying the night there.
And where we have to disagree, I guess. Agree to disagree. I remember. Okay, so if you didn't, it might have been that we did not kiss on the first date, and that after Allie's party was the first time we kissed. That could have been it.
That's probably what it was. That's it. That's what it was, because I remember kissing you on the forehead was like a big deal to me because I didn't know how you were going to react to it.
Okay. Well, that was it. Then I am kind of a prude, I guess.
So yeah, we didn't kiss on the first date. And then the next week was Mike's party. Me and Eric went and saw Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I called you after the movie, and I was like, oh, because you couldn't go or you didn't go or something like that. And I was like, well, I was making out with Eric instead of you since you decided not to go. And you were like...
And how did I react? I was like...
No, you were laughing. No, it wasn't like a stupid laugh. You were laughing like you laugh. It was genuine. And then we went to Mike's party, and I played cards with everybody, and they were saying that Molly was good luck to TJ, and I was like, Melissa, get Molly the fuck out of here. And everybody was trying to get money for Mike so that he would start stripping or something stupid like that. And I was like, no, fuck this. And so I won all the money, and I'm awesome. So fuck that bullshit.
I do remember that. I remember everybody sitting around the table and
playing cards. And yeah, I fucking won all that fucking money too.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then that morning, you gave Christina Ornelas and myself a ride home. I don't remember who you dropped off first. It was probably me, no, maybe it wasn't. Where did she live?
She lived up in Upperstead.
Maybe you dropped her off first then.
Maybe.
And then that was when I gave you the tongue. Was when you dropped me off that morning. And you had like coffee, and it was like coffee's nasty.
Aw, I'm sorry. Bummer. That kind of sucks. That's crummy.
No, that's okay. I don't even think I noticed. I was just thinking about it right now in retrospect. Like, why would I do that? And then from there, it's more of a blur of just events and things that we did until school starts.
Yeah.
So Ty and TJ had a party, and you were being all fucking like, I don't really feel like going. I'm probably not gonna go. And me and Eric had gone there early, and we each brought a movie. He brought Evil Dead 2. I brought Mallrats. Those were our signature movies, and everybody wanted to see them, and we had them. That was us. Me and Eric. We were besties back then.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to go because you were all fucking apprehensive about the relationship, I believe.
About the relationship, really?
Well, just because it was early and you didn't want, too much too soon.
Yeah, that could be it.
But you showed up, and we all stayed the night, and we were there together in the morning, and we were cast in the movie and everything.
Okay, so I think I remember this. Were we all sleeping kind of in a big heat?
A big old orgy of people.
I remember that it was so weird. Just everybody sleeping there. And then,
Boys,
of course, there was the whole
girls.
drama thing, and everyone was like, no grab-assing, hands.
Oh, fuck, we skipped the party. We skipped one. Fuck.
I'm still wondering where Ashley's party was in this whole thing, 'cause it was before we started dating.
It was before we started dating, so that's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
That was probably... Let me bring this year up and date again. Ashley's party would have been... probably would have been the 20th, so it would have been the day before Eric Steelman's birthday.
Okay.
So it would have been that Friday night, and so we were... I think I stole your sandals that night.
Yet another little flirtation that I couldn't figure out.
That was a flirting thing, and me and Mike were hanging out a lot that night.
Yeah.
Robinson.
And Robinson?
Yes, Mike Robinson.
And we
to what?
You don't remember what song? You really don't remember what song? You have to remember the song.
The only song that I can remember us dancing to is on the 4th of July, and...
No.
So, what song did we dance to?
Of course. Leave It to the Woman. You're naming off all these movies, stupid, tiny little events, and I'm like, the first dance that we had together was to What a Wonderful World.
It is What a Wonderful World. Are you
And
sure
I
it wasn't
thought
at
you
the 4th
knew
of
that
July?
because there's that little picture frame that you put that song onto.
But every time I think about that, I think about the 4th of July being What a Wonderful World.
Well, that was a redo.
So
Redux.
it played then too. Okay, a redux.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was great that we danced that again. But that was our first dance together. And it was. I remember it very vividly because I was like, this is kind of a strange song to dance to, and this is kind of a strange man that I'm dancing with, and I couldn't really figure it all out in my head. And just a quick note about this whole time, right when you asked me out was when I was moving out of my cousin and sister's place. So I was living with my cousin and my sister at the time, and me and my sister Tiffany were moving out into an apartment. This was right when you asked me out, all this was going on. So that kind of marked the beginning of our relationship, was when I moved in with my sister.
And we've got a shit show of that to talk about in 2006, so we'll get there.
Oh yeah.
So after jumping backwards in time to jump back into forwards in time, we did spend the night at Mike's house because he had a party and I won all the money, and he talked about aliens a lot because he loves aliens, and he did look into my eye, and then we also we hypnotized Mike that night.
I remember that. What did he do?
He started talking about seeing people with no faces, I believe. And
Right.
he was
It
walking.
fucking scary.
He was-
It was really fucking scary.
And he was watching a movie, and it was Garfield the movie.
Oh my god, I remember.
You know, this is a Mike Robinson All-Star episode, so he's in
I
here.
know.
So Kelly, you got
Oh, it
something to
was
listen
scary.
to.
I was actually considering asking continue to invite a guest to each of our podcasts, whoever was biggest in our life at that during that year, or whoever we could get.
None of them would
had
remember
played
any
some role.
of this. Nobody would remember any of this.
I know.
Eric would have to be the guy to talk to.
I know. But you know, Mike for a couple of years there, man, he was there. He was a big part.
He was
so
the
it's funny
third
because-
wheel. He was always the third wheel. At the beginning of our relationship, he was dating Christina. So he was the other couple with us. Mike and Christina and you and me. You know,
Christina Ornelas, right?
Christina Ornelas. So they were the other couple. And at this time, Eric Reigelsberger was also trying to get with Christina Fennell. So they had a little flirtation thing going. So, after Mike's party, you took me
Okay,
home.
this was like the summer of romance, man. There were so many hookups going on. It's crazy.
Summer of 69. But
Alright.
the clock is ticking. I don't know how long you want to go for this, but I'd like to try to get it
I
all in.
know. I'm sorry. It's reminiscing, and
No.
you have such a good memory, and it's like I'm right back there, you know, and so it's tough to move on. But okay.
So after
we move
Mike's
on.
after
So,
Mike's party,
Garfield the movie.
what's that?
Garfield the movie.
Garfield the movie. Mike saw Garfield the movie and his fucking thing, and he was like shaking and everything, and we were getting freaked out because he actually got hypnotized.
Yeah.
So that was Mike's party. The following week, Kyle Dede had a party. He had the Big Brother party that he did where everyone was going to vote everybody off eventually. Do you remember this?
Did I go?
You were there, and we were all in different households, and or whatever it was. I honestly don't remember. We were all on, like, it was like you, me, and Eric, and that's how it was for the rest of the fucking summer. It was you, me, and Eric. And that Amber bitch was on our team. No, we were all together, and we all voted Amber off. And she fucking flipped out when we voted her off because she looked at Eric and she's like, he called me a cunt! And we just thought it was the funniest fucking thing. And so for that entire summer, me and Eric were like, he called me a cunt! And it was some of the most funnest fucking times that whole fucking summer. And it's not to say that we haven't had good summers since then, but everything was new and fresh, and everything we were discovering for the first time, and it was a magical fucking summer.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
So that was the Big Brother party, and after that, it was just kind of like we would hang out when we could. At one point, you got into a car accident.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell that little story. So, I went and I had a little Kia Rio Cinco, and I had gotten a job. I just came back from a little stupid interview On the Border, and I got a job as a waitress. And they were like, "Yeah, just come back like a week from now, and we'll do like an orientation." So I was stoked about that. I was drinking Jamba Juice, and I was on the phone with my sister Crystal, and my sister Tiffany was in the passenger seat. And I'm flying down 395, and you know, as with all rush hour traffic,
It was
all of them, like,
$3.95.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
picturing Virginia for the longest time.
Oh my gosh, no. Okay, so it was the freeway, and it was 395 in between Plum and Mill, going north. So flying down the freeway on my cell phone, Jamba Juice, you know, and traffic just comes to a halt, and I slam right into the back of this big SUV. The SUV doesn't have a scratch on it, and my entire front of the Kia is like accordion in.
Yep.
Not just the hood, but the entire front.
Your
And
sister
it's
got Jamba
incredible
Juice
that,
all
like,
over the
I didn't
inside.
get hurt at all. And I just remember, like, there was Jamba Juice everywhere. and so when the cops got there, they were like, "Who threw up?" Look at this Jamba Juice. My sister's freaking out.
And
Car
my,
is
and
just-
my side of the story was you were coming to pick me up because there was a party at Summer Rasmussen's house, I believe it was.
Oh.
So I was waiting for you to come pick me up. I was watching Night of the Hunter because I thought that would help make the time go by faster. And there's a knock at my door, and I was like, there she is. And it's TJ. And he's like, Melissa was in an accident. She's okay. He fucking shoves his phone in my face. Here she is. And that's when I found out everything. And like, TJ's like, okay, let's go. And it's like, okay, I guess. I didn't want to be at the party. You know, I wasn't up for it because I was, you know, it sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do remember you being like super worried and like, I don't remember calling TJ. That's kind of weird, but
Well,
you know,
I think I called you from his phone.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And you were just like freaking out. You were so worried. I'm like, I'm fine. And my car is totaled.
All right, now let me see if I could remember as many events as possible. So these are going to come in quick succession and out of order. And they may come up as I remember other things. So, 4th of July, we spent the entire day together at your sister's gay friend's house.
My sister's gay friend's house?
Yeah, the two gay guys. Crystal. She worked with the two gay dudes.
Oh my god.
You don't remember this at all?
I don't. She had gay friends?
There were these two gay dudes. She worked with them, and we were over there all day long. It was like a barbecue, and then we went up to San Rafael, and we danced to Georgia on My Mind, and we danced to Wonderful World, and we watched the fireworks. And then, and before that, we went to your mom's place where you wrote Pi R Square, Pi R Round, Pi R Triangle, and you drew like a stupid piece of fucking ice cream on there that looked like ass, ruining your mom's shirt.
Oh.
So that was the 4th of July. We also had pizza that day, and it was up by, we might have went to your optometrist somewhere around there. And we ate pizza over there by there. I don't know if this was a different day or the same day, but I want to say it was the same day that we had pizza up over there in the Sparks, Spanish Springs area. So that was the 4th of July. Another time, the one time that really cemented everything for me was when I was sick and I had a really bad cold. And you brought me some soup and some tea, and we watched a movie. We watched The Terminal. Yeah, no, that was when I knew that you were the one and that I loved you. Because you really didn't have to do that. I was sick. You didn't have to come over, but you brought me some chicken noodle soup and tea, and we just kind of sat there and watched The Terminal.
I do remember that. I remember that a lot. You know, because I always wanted to do that for someone. I always wanted to care for someone enough to do that for them, and I did, and it felt good. I knew that you appreciated it. That was something that was so sweet too in my memory. That you were so grateful, and you were so happy to see me, and sick as a dog, but.
I was very sick, and whenever guys get sick, they get crazy sick, and whenever a girl gets sick, guys don't give a shit.
Yep.
But that's not true.
That's the story of our relationship too. Every time you got sick, you were, oh my god, you were just puking everywhere, and it was a mess. And I was sick, and I'm going to work, and I'm going around the house and everything.
So before we get to the middle of the summer. Let's see if I could remember some other things. I remember, there was something. I don't remember now. I don't remember what it was, but like, you would come over all the time, and we would just kind of hang out, or we would go do stuff.
And we would watch a lot of movies at your place. I remember watching movies at your place, but we didn't really watch them, which was the problem. I mean,
once we got started making out all the time, we didn't really watch movies. We would make out through the entire fucking movie, like The Shining and Cape Fear. Yeah. We just made out through those entire movies. There was
when did we go to? Sorry, this might be random and totally off base, but when did we go see Batman Begins in the drive-in?
Oh, that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about. Batman Begins.
Okay.
So Batman Begins was at the beginning of the summer. I forget what you were doing, but you couldn't go with me for some reason, and instead I went with Patrick. Me and Patrick took the bus Or no, we got dropped off by Eric because he was going to work. He dropped us off. We went and saw Batman Begins. Eric Steelman was there with his family. And then we snuck in and caught the second half of Batman Begins in another theater after finishing it the first time. And then we caught the bus back to back home. And I must have seen that movie 3 or 4 times because I watched it with Eric, who never saw it. It took him forever to watch it. And then you and I, we went and saw it at the drive-in. You had already seen it. I'd already seen it. We went and saw it at the drive-in. Mike and Christina were there also. It was kind of like a double date.
I don't know if I wanted to mention that because I really don't want to sully Mike's name all over these podcasts.
Well, we're not sullying Mike's name. Mike had a girlfriend back then. Mike had a girlfriend after that. So, you know, people are in relationships their entire lives. But yeah, no, so Mike and Christina were there. They were in their car. You and I were in your car.
We were in Mike's big truck.
Mike's big red truck. Yeah, that was Mike and Christina. They were over there, and you and me were in the Kia, and we made out the entire movie.
Crazy. I remember that. That was memorable, man. Because
we just fucking made out the entire fucking movie.
Looking back, because like, you know, because we hadn't started anything like hot and heavy yet, so
no
it's
blowjobs.
Like, what is there left to do? We kissed, we make out, we neck, you know, and it's like, you think about growing up and being an adult and being in a relationship, and we hadn't done that in years when we split, you know, years and years and years. Like, what is that, like 2 hours? Just making out.
2.5.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then there was another time that you aren't around for, but a bunch of us went and saw Wedding Crashers at the drive-in. I forget why. That might have been when you were okay. So never mind. That story hadn't happened yet. But there's also like another time where you came over. Like you were always come over late, real late. I don't know why, but you would do shit, I guess, during the day, or maybe you just didn't do anything. You just didn't feel like coming over because you were afraid of our relationship. But like I remember hanging out. This might have been the day that we all went and saw a bunch of fucking movies at the movie theater. Like me, Greg, Eric, Ty, and TJ, and the other Eric Steelman. And then like at the end of the day, I think they all left, and then you came over, and we just made out that night too. That was the first night. I don't know if that was that same night, but this night that if I'm adding them together was the first time that I touched your boobies. So.
Oh, I remember precisely the first time that you did.
You were wearing a Tweety Bird shirt and you had your swimsuit on.
You do not remember. I'm like filling in the blanks. These silly little things, but it was huge for me. I had went swimming.
Yeah. So you were wearing your bathing suit underneath your Tweety Bird shirt.
Yeah. Well, I was wearing I had a tankini, so I had that on underneath, and then I had the Tweety Bird shirt on over, which is funny because it's a hella old shirt. It was my sister's shirt from like fucking the 90s. Hella old shirt. I don't know why I came over in that. And so we're sitting on the couch, and you we're making out, and you raised your hand.
Yeah, I just put my hand forward, and you grabbed it, and you put it, like, on your chest.
It was like upper chest, yeah.
And I was like, oh, this must be what she wants. I know this is what I want. But little did I know that wasn't exactly what you wanted, but you were fine with it.
I was so shocked. I was like, oh shit, there it goes. And I remember being so excited about it. And then going home afterwards and telling Crystal, I was like, he touched my boob! Oh my god, he touched my boob! And she was so happy for me.
So that was one of the big nights of 2005. This is probably the worst podcast ever if we do ever get into other relationships.
Why is it the worst podcast ever?
If we get into other relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're going on about each other here. Okay, so we hung out a lot. We hung out with Patrick and Eric a lot. A lot of it, I think, comes after you went to Denver. So that was a big weekend. You came over, and you had your car back by then. or either no, you were borrowing a car. You didn't have your car back until you got back from Denver. So you were borrowing your sister's car, I believe, and you came over,
Yeah.
and we hung out all day, and we went to the mall to pick up the new Harry Potter book, the one where Dumbledore dies, spoiler alert. And then we went and saw Rocky Horror Picture Show that night at the Grand Sierra
I
Resort.
remember that, and you wore a collar for me, didn't you?
Well, we had gone shopping the previous weekend to like Hot Topic and Spencer's to get stuff. So I bought new boots, got little arm things, got spike collars and wristbands and everything. So I spiked my hair, put the collar on, we put a chain on it. So you had me on a chain, and
you looked great. I just remember, like, I was like, whew, man. And I also remember at Rocky Horror, we ran into my old friend Lena, and she asked me if I was still a virgin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I said, yeah, and she's like, you're lying to me, and she was like, looking at you.
We also ran into Danny there, too.
Yeah, we did see Danny there, that's absolutely right.
And we took Greg there, and Tyler and Eric Steelman were there, and Summer Rasmussen was there also.
Yeah.
You know, here's another funny story. Me, Mike Robinson, Ty, TJ, and Molly, and Summer Rasmussen, we all went mountain climbing one of these earlier weekends, and Molly gave me this bowl. It was like a Tupperware bowl. It had a lid on it. It was blue, had a white top. And she's like, "This is Melissa's. Give it back to her." And so I go to give it back to you, and you're like, "That's not mine. That's not mine. That's not my bowl." And then when I eventually get over to your place, what do I see in the cupboards and in the sinks? Matching bowls. Clearly your bowl.
What is wrong with me?
You were flirting with me, is what you were doing.
Oh, I remember that. I do remember that. I was fucking with you.
All right, but anyways, since we're almost at an hour here, and we can go. Hold on. We can go longer than an hour. I'm just saying.
Okay. Okay.
But we're only at the middle of the summer, so dead in the middle of the summer, we go see Rocky Horror Picture Show. Melissa has a good time, but I hate that fucking movie, and I hate crowds and stuff. I only really did it for her, and I haven't done it since for her, so fuck you, Melissa.
I know. It's sad. You were like, this was a one-time deal. So I remember, I've written about this before, about just the whole atmosphere of the whole night, because we knew I was leaving for Denver.
For a week.
It was such a warm, perfect summer night. It was like, when you think of warm summer nights, that's exactly what it was. It was just absolutely perfect. And we went back to your place, we eventually ended up where you were sitting and my head was in your lap. And it was not like any kind of dirty way, listener.
You were laying down in my lap, and I had my arms around you.
Yes. And we were kissing and talking, and we were like, I just remember like feeling drunk, feeling high. But we hadn't drinking anything, we hadn't smoked anything or any like that. It was really late. We were rummy. We were happy to be around each other. And I think that was the moment, I know that was the moment that I fell in love with you.
I think we might have even said it for the first time then.
Yeah.
So like I said, I love you with all my heart, and then you said...
No.
No, not this time?
No.
Are you sure?
You said, I love you over I am. That was the first time.
Okay. When you were in Denver?
No.
Okay.
It was before that, because I was at my mom's house, and I was using her computer.
Okay.
And you said it.
But
it was really early on. You said I love you like a couple weeks in. So that was over and done with. So you might have said it when we were sitting there. It just wouldn't be the first time.
Okay,
but,
well, We were
With
there,
night.
and that was like a long night that I didn't want to ever end because you were leaving
Yeah.
to go to Denver, and you left, and I spent
I
the.
left as the sun was coming up, I think.
What's that?
Didn't I leave as the sun was coming up?
No, but a few hours and it would be. You were there until like 2, 3 in the morning.
It was at least 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and you left, and then I spent the rest of the week hanging out with Patrick and Eric. I think it was Patrick's birthday that weekend, and his dad took us to go to Los Compadres, and we went to Wild Island and did mini golf, and we did the go karts, and then we went to Best Buy and bought some shit, and then while you were in Denver, I tried to bleach my hair blonde so that I could turn it blue, and you brought or either bought some when you got into town some blue to change my hair color blue. So I had blue hair for a little while. There's no picture evidence of me with blue hair, but there is.
I know. I have picture evidence of you with blonde hair.
Yeah,
but
blonde
not
hair. We got blonde hair, but nothing with blue hair.
I know. And that was a bummer because that looked so cool, man. That was, oh man, fucking awesome. But
And
I do remember, like, getting out of the airport and seeing you, and your hair was like some crazy, crazy color.
I should blonde it again.
You should. You should. That looked so good. Do I need to, like, send you a picture?
I know what I look like. I'm super
Have it on
thin in that picture, and I hate it. But
I mean, but you'd still look so fucking cool with blonde hair right now. You should just do it, and then if you don't like it, dye it blue.
I should. I'm
Yeah.
not that guy, but I'm feeling like it. I'm feeling like a change.
Do it. Do it. That'd be so fucking awesome. You know, you would blow so many people's minds. Because the last thing people would expect out of you is for you to dye your hair.
I know, and I'm so dark now because I'm always outside with my bike and shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Mexican.
while you were in Denver, you went and saw The Devil's Rejects because that was the big movie for everybody that summer. For at least me and Patrick and Eric, that was the big movie. And you went and you saw it, and it's like your favorite movie now.
I saw the Denver Pavilion.
And you were texting me lines from the movie theater, and we were going to see it later that day, and I was telling Patrick, I was like, oh, I'm the devil, I'm here to do the devil's work, I'm Willy Wonka, this is my fucking chocolate factory, fuck shit,
I'm
and he was like,
Fruity.
yeah, and he was like, oh, god damn it, because we were fucking waiting all day long, trying everything to make time go by, and we couldn't get it, and this was the epic thing that I used to do at the movies every time I went that summer, until eventually they got rid of this thing and I couldn't do it anymore. But they would always show this obnoxious Fandango commercial. And I got this from my friend Brandon, who used to do it when we were still in high school, because he hated that commercial and he hated the people who laughed at it. So what I would do every time we went and seen a movie is whenever that Fandango commercial would come up and it would go to black and it'd be silent, I would throw out this extremely obnoxious laugh, like I thought it was just so funny, and it would make the audience laugh. And when I went and saw The Devil's Rejects, the entire audience was packed, and they busted up fucking laughing. I killed. And these guys in front of me were like, oh man, that was worth the movie alone. I can go home now. And it was the best. And I remember one time Eric ended up going to the movies by himself or with a girl, and he was like, you know, there was something different about it. For the first time, nobody laughed at that commercial because I wasn't seeing it with you.
That is crazy epic. That is like, if you talk to anybody who, like, that summer went to a movie with you, any movie, and they'll remember that. I think it was just like, that was your thing. And
I was young and full of piss and vinegar, and I was just happy to be in like this awesome relationship. So I was willing to do anything. Nowadays, I'm not so willing to do anything. I'm like an old man, and I hate it.
Well, I mean, no, you're a little more mature, and I think again, the whole atmosphere of everything, because all of your friends now, all of our friends, they've got jobs, they've got their responsibilities.
Everybody,
and
every fucking person, and it fucking sucks, because that summer, no one had a job except Eric.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you didn't have a car and you came back from Denver, he was always calling up and saying, hey, you want to go to a movie? Let's go pick up Melissa. Let's go do a thing. So we were always hanging out. We went to
So hang on, let's go back to Denver real quick. So before I left for Denver, I bought you
12
as many
roses.
black roses
Yes.
as the days that I would be gone.
Yes. So you were gone 12
And,
days. I guess you were gone for 2 weeks.
Was I really?
Maybe it was 10 days. Maybe it was 10 roses.
Yeah, I think it was 10. And you said you were going to eat one for every day that I was going to be
I
gone.
started eating a petal, and then like I was notified that there's like dye in those roses. So I was like, you know what, maybe not. So I just kind of took the petals and threw them out as each day went by, and just grabbed the head off of each flower.
And I also remember at one point, I thought it was when I left for that night, we stood in the doorway, and you quoted a line from the city to me.
From Sin City?
Yep. And I wish I could remember what it was. I think it was at the beginning.
Josh Hartnett's line is, what does he say? He says, oh, fuck. Josh Hartnett says,
Yeah.
Oh, man. Fuck.
Yikes. You have forgotten a line from Sin City. I'm shocked, appalled. So you said that line to me, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. And you were my Marv, and I was your Goldie.
What is it? I tell her that everything will be alright, that I'll save her from whatever she's scared of, take her far, far away. I tell her I love her. The silence never makes a whisper of the gunshot. I hold her close until she's gone.
Yikes, that could kind of scary if you said it.
She shivers in the wind like the last leaf on a dying tree.
I think that's what it was, though. I'm almost positive that's what it was. Okay, so
I didn't come here
Denver,
for the
Black
party. I
Roses,
came here
I was
for
there.
you.
I emmed a lot.
No, here it is. You're everything a man could ever want. It's not just your face, your figure, your voice. It's your eyes. All the things I see in your eyes. I see a crazy calm. Okay, I think that might have been it.
Okay. No, it was, is there a line that starts with, like, the wind whispers electric or something happens electric?
The wind rises electric. Okay,
Yeah, that was it.
hold on, it's right here. The wind rises electric. She's soft and warm and almost weightless. Her perfume is a sweet promise that brings tears to my eyes. I tell her that everything will be alright.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so it was that line. It was that line.
Because Sin City was my favorite movie because it just came out that year and I was so stoked about it.
And you went and saw it, and I wasn't invited, but everybody else in the whole world was invited.
That was before us.
They all
That
got
was
stuff.
before us. We're not going to get into that. As it's almost an hour and 10 minutes in as it is, and we still got half a year to go.
Sorry.
So, you get back from Denver, and I go and see you at the airport, and it was really kind of awkward because it was so fucking brief, and it was like you were just trying to get out of there. But I did see you later that day when we did dye my hair blue. You were wearing your Devil's Reject shirt. I was wearing mine. You brought me Otis
So real
Action.
quick, before we left the airport, it was kind of crazy because, so you were there and, you had your hair and everything, and then as we were leaving, we got pulled over.
That's right.
I was riding with my sister. Do you remember that?
I remember you getting pulled over, yes.
Yeah, because something with,
Her license
the
plate.
registration.
Her license plate.
Yeah.
She had it up in the window instead of on the car.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a big fucking ordeal, and I remember, and it was just like...
And it was taking you forever to come over, and I'd been waiting for 2 weeks, and then I didn't even see you.
Yeah.
But you did eventually come over that night, and we blued my hair, and we went outside, and it was raining, and we were just kind of holding each other in the rain. My dad walked by at one point. And then as it got darker, we went up to the desert bar, what's the desert bar and grill up here at the on the strip of stores. It's La Mexicana now, Fiesta Mexicana now, but we went up there and we had dinner.
I remember that. What did we have?
All I remember is a salad. I don't remember what we ate. It was probably steak and potato, probably.
That was so funny because I was just about to say that all I remember is a salad. I don't remember what came out.
Yeah. No, I just remember the salad. And then we walked back to my place, and we watched. I think we watched "Oh God, You Devil," the George Burns movie. Do you remember that at all?
No, what was that movie about?
Well, I think we were talking about Guys and Dolls. Because didn't your mom and dad used to sing that to you?
No.
They didn't used to sing a Guys and Dolls song to you?
What Guys and Dolls song?
It was
Guys
either...
and Dolls,
No,
Guys.
that's not a real song. It was either Adelaide's Lament or it was either the... Got Your Horse Right Here. His name is Paul Revere.
Oh! Yeah! Oh gosh, I remember that very vaguely.
And
yeah.
that's why we watched that movie, is because in that movie, he sings that. The guy's dad would sing it to him when he was a baby and he was sick. And then he sings it to his kid when she's sick at the end of the movie. So I put that on, and I think we just fell asleep while it was on. Didn't really finish it. But I can't watch that movie without thinking about you. I haven't watched it since, but like every time I put that on, I'm thinking about you. Pretty much every fucking movie that I have here has something to do with you. Like, look, Rocky Balboa. We saw that in theaters on Christmas, and then we bought it at Best Buy.
Yeah.
So, and then Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. We bought that at Borders. I also bought Infinite Crisis at the same time, and Mallrats the Collector's Edition. And we came home to the apartment. See, I know all these things. I've got a great memory.
You know all of them based around movies. You know, it's so interesting listening to you talk about the timeline because it is so based around movies, you know. I mean, and that's appropriate because the movie with our first date, there were a lot of significant events in our life that happened around movies. So.
All right, let's see if we can get through the rest of this year. So that summer we went bowling. You, me, and Eric against Ty, TJ, and Greg, and we each beat our respective players. So I beat Ty, Eric beat TJ, and you beat Greg, and we were fucking awesome. And that was the first time I showed you Fight Club. And then there was another night where me and Eric were hanging out at Ty and TJ's place, and everybody was like, "Let's go bowling." And we were going, and we left, and I was like, "Let's go see Melissa instead." So Eric took me over to see you, and we were just walking around outside your apartment complex. That was one night. Another time, I think you went to a wedding again one weekend. You went there in the morning, and you got back at night, and we went and saw Dukes of Hazzard, and I paid for your ticket. We saw that with Eric and Patrick also. And another thing that Eric did all summer long was he would come over to my place, stay the night, and he would talk to girls on MySpace all night fucking long. And he had like 5-6 different girls that summer.
Oh, man.
And then at the end of the summer, and then there was my birthday. My birthday came. You stayed the night before. I don't remember what night that was. But that morning you left. And you went to grab your sister, and you went to the DMV. Coincidentally enough, me and my dad fucking took the bus down there after you left, and we got there right after you were leaving. And I was there to get an ID, and then we met you downtown. And you and me went and saw Broken Flowers, and then we went to. You dropped me off at the front of the trailer park because that's where I had my birthday party at, and then you went back and got cupcakes, and we hung out and we played. Mike Robinson was there, and we played the Big Brother game. You, me, Mike, Christina, TJ, and Molly. We played the Big Brother game, and it's got all these kind of risque questions in there, and we had a lot of fun doing that. And
That was fun. And how old were you turning?
I turned 20 that year, so I was 20 years old. And you were.
Did we play some pool too?
Probably play pool because there was a pool table there, so I don't see why we didn't play pool. So that was my birthday, and then the last day of summer, you came over. Oh, and you, for my birthday, you got me what's sitting right there. Everyone who's come and filmed the movie this time has seen my Sin City throw blanket on the wall. It's right there. That's what Melissa got me for my birthday. Together, our first birthday together with me. Was that's what she got me because I loved Sin City. Oh, and we also did a lot. We also went to movies in the quad at UNR. We saw Sin City and we saw Man of the House, and
And didn't we see? What about The Ring 2?
No, The Ring 2 I went and saw with Kyle Johnson before we got together.
It was some scary movie, Grudge or something.
In the quad?
I thought so.
No.
Maybe. Okay, never mind. But maybe they were playing that, and then I went.
You might have went. No, you did. I think you might have seen the Grudge 2 or the Ring 2 without me.
Yeah.
You did do stuff without me that summer. I mean, we weren't there. We weren't attached to the hip yet.
Yeah.
So that was our summer. The very last day of summer, you came over and we spent some time together, and then school started.
And what day was that around?
Probably one of the last days of August. But it was a Sunday, and I was like, you might as well not even fucking come over anymore because you were late. But you were out in the driveway, and you almost just left. And you came right in right after I texted you that. And I was like, oh, I'm a fucking asshole. And you're like, you are. But that was that. And you know what? Also, all summer long, if I wanted to talk to you, I had to walk up to Winter's Corner to use the payphone because I didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
Or I could instant message your cell phone.
Yeah.
And
that was kind of cool that you could do that.
it was, and it was crazy. And we would kind of flirt back and forth, sexting quote fingers when you were in Denver.
I
Um,
remember that. That was the first time I had ever heard the term. I don't know how this day I want to get here, but that was the first time I had ever heard the term pitching a tent.
Really? Did I say something like that?
You did.
Pitching a tent right now. Just kidding. Just kidding. But then...
I'm like, what about me? What's he doing? He's going camping.
So, the school year started, and it got close to your birthday. And you'd gotten into Dracula. Everybody got into Dracula. Mike was Dracula. You were one of the vixens. And for your birthday, I wanted to do something special. And I was trying to coordinate. And you know what? Okay. And by this point, I'm pretty sure I had moved into you with you at your apartment complex.
Not officially.
Not officially, but I was there all the fucking time. And because I was there all the time, my mom would sneak into my room and steal my movies, and I never saw them again. And I was like, there are movies missing. What the fuck is going on? And I realized what happened, and at that point, I grabbed all my shit, what I really needed, and went over to Melissa's place, and that was when I kind of moved in there. And I was there for a good part of the end of the year. But anyways, so I was trying to coordinate with your sister, who always gives shitty presents, by the way. And I always fucking blew her presents out of the water, because fuck that bitch. I was like, what are you getting Melissa for her birthday? And she probably said something lame. And so I was like, okay, cool, because I'm going to get her the My Chemical Romance tickets that she wants. And she was like, her jaw fucking dropped to the fucking ground. But the thing was I got Eric to take me out and get those tickets at the Grand Sierra Resort, because I thought that's where you had to go get them. And I also got a pair of earrings. So the earrings were the red herring. So I gave you the earrings, and you were like, oh. And you know what? I went backstage where everybody was at, and we started singing Happy Birthday to you, and I gave you the earrings, and you came in for the hug. And Eric was like, open the card, Melissa, open the card. Because you just skipped the card. And so, he was trying to get you to open the card, because inside the card were the My Chemical Romance tickets, which is the concert that you really, really, really wanted to go to. And you know what? It was that band that we kind of bonded over, during the internship or whatever. Not internship, but, after our relationship had started getting in further, we kind of bonded over My Chemical Romance. And that was your band. You really liked them, and I was like, I'm getting her those fucking tickets, and I did. And then that was your birthday present from me. And of course, your brother got you Santana tickets. And we went to, on your birthday, September 17th, 2005. You turned 17 years old. We went and we ate at the Olive Garden, and then we went to the Santana concert. And afterwards, we went back to my place where we had sex for the first time.
Wow! That ball was dropped quick. Yeah, and it didn't hurt a bit.
That's what she said. But you know what? To get a little graphic into this, you said we dry humped a lot.
Yeah, I know.
So we might have dry humped a little too hard at one point.
I'm sure of it, like...
and you know, we used to lay down in bed naked together, like, all the time. Bumping uglies without actually inserting anything anywhere.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like we acted like it was such a big deal to actually, like, to go that tiny...
Yeah, because we would just lay in bed naked, or we would take showers together, or we'd be dry humping all the fucking time. We were like fucking rabbits with clothes on. And then we had sex, and
then on the night of my birthday, I remember, like, sitting on the edge of the bed, like in the movies, we're, like, fully clothed, and because we had planned it and everything, and it was like, are you ready? And it's like, you know, we had been ready for a long time.
Right. Well, you know what, and it was both of our first times. I've got no problem with saying that. I was a virgin until I was 20 years old.
Yeah, you waited for the right girl.
I've still only been with one person ever. I'm not ashamed of saying that at all, so... So that was your birthday. That was September. You know, like, there are a lot of things from the summer that are coming up. One time during the summer, we went up to the park to make out, and then left, and then we went to the trampoline to make out. And at some point in there, I got bit by a spider, and it got all infected, and we went to the hospital. And we were at the hospital a lot around that time.
That's true. That was on your arm, right?
That was on my arm. I got bit by a spider on my arm, and the doctor was like, "Oh, he had like some bacteria," and so it got all swollen. And we were at the hospital at that time, and that was just another event during the summer. So, okay, September, and then October came, and that was when we went to the concert. And just before the concert, like the week of, that was when we got into our first big fight, because I have a certain way of thinking about things, and I feel like I've got this kind of realistic view of no bullshit that I kind of live my life by. Like, I think Kyle Johnson gave you some money for your birthday, and then he was like, "Oh, you can get me a shirt or something," and I was just like, don't get him a shirt if he gave you money for your birthday and he's asking you to get him something. I just thought that was stupid, and we got into a fight over it. That was our first big fight.
And that was before the concert?
That was like the week of, and then we went to the concert, and then you didn't get him a shirt, you got yourself a shirt, I got myself a shirt, and we rocked it, and we saw Matt Podesta there, Eric Stillman went with us, Christina Ornelas was there, Robbie was there. And we had an awesome fucking time, you know, hip hip hooray, 3 cheers for Sweet Revenge.
That was, an event at Sevenfold, right?
No, it was at, the Grand Sierra Resort. I think it was the House of Blues, maybe?
Right, and the Avenged Sevenfold place.
No, it was Alkaline Trio.
Alkaline Trio, that's right.
Alkaline Trio, Reggie and the Full Effect, and My Chemical Romance.
And I remember, someone crowd surfed.
We tried to get Eric Stillman up to crowd surf. He maybe got one person, and then they fucking dropped his ass. And then Christina Ornelas kind of crowd surfed up to the front, and they pushed her to the side, and she was all dehydrated and almost passing out and shit. We lost her for a little while, but we got her back.
Yeah. And did you almost get into a fight with somebody, with some chick, or was
no? Some bitch got all pissed off when me and Robbie were pushing and shit. But it's a concert and people are pushing anyways. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah. God, that was a lot of fun. That was a blast.
So that was October. On Halloween, you, me, Patrick, and Julie Duncan, who was Eric's girlfriend at the time, we all went trick-or-treating on Halloween in Patrick's neighborhood.
Was that the day that she cut my hair?
Nope. This was before then.
Okay.
And then, okay, so... God...
Did we go to Apple Hill?
This was...
sometime?
Oh, fuck, dude, we did go to Apple Hill.
Yeah, I just don't remember.
Okay,
exactly.
no, okay, so this was... So after My Chemical Romance, and this was before the play because your hair was cut for the play, so near the end of the summer, you went and got your hair colored really lightly to, like, almost
like strawberry blonde.
Yeah, and then, so it was long still, but then, we had an incident where I dropped a condom onto the ground and used it still.
Maybe we had more than one incident like that. Similar.
So, you know, a condom which has lubricant on it, and it drops onto a, like a rug, a carpeting, it's gonna pick up whatever's on the ground. Do not use a condom after you do that.
This podcast is getting so graphic.
Because you will get an infection, and you will need to take 20 different kinds of pills. So you were sick, and you were on all kinds of pills, and you were also on all kinds of Vicodin, and we went to Julie's house to help her mom move like an entertainment system, and you were all loopy, and Julie cut your hair really short.
Really short, like above my shoulders.
And that was the first time I drove a car for longer than any amount, because I drove it back to your place without a license for the first time ever. And so you had short hair for Dracula, and also right around Dracula, just before Dracula, we both got jobs at Best Buy.
Right, and I remember because we had just gotten our jobs at Best Buy. We were only working there for a couple weeks when
You got sick, and you couldn't go back.
There was a few things that happened. So I got sick, and then shortly thereafter, I was in rehearsal for Dracula, and I had to run down these stairs, and they're really steep stairs. And
No, you took a fucking dive off of the fucking stage. Not the stage, but the flat. Not the flat, because the flat's the wall. The platform. You took a dive head first onto the stage from the platform.
So what did it look like from your end when I landed?
I didn't see the land. I only heard it. And I was like, what the fuck? And Patrick started laughing, and you just got right back up and finished the scene.
Well, like, I tumbled down, and apparently I landed with my head on the ground and my neck perpendicular to the ground. So everyone
like a right angle.
thought I had broke my neck. But my head landed, like, right on the ground, and it just knocked every little bit of sense out of me. But like I do, every single time I fall or get hurt, and I still fucking do this, hop right back up, keep doing what I'm doing, like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And no one stopped. And that was what was so great. Like, the show must go on, and then everyone's like kind of chuckling, but so fucking worried about me. So to get backstage, and so I think I had a concussion. So I had a concussion, and I was really sick, so I had to call into work.
And you called into work for like 2 weeks while I started, and surprisingly, they let you keep your job.
Well, they brought me into like the manager's office. They were like interrogating me.
Oh yeah, they had a little chat with you.
Where have you been? You know, this is a job. You want to keep a job? You go. And I was like, fuck you, dude. You have my doctor's note. You know, they were being assholes.
And this one bitch was talking shit about you while I was working when you came in to get your schedule, and I was like, you know, that's my girlfriend. She was really sick. You shouldn't fucking talk about her like that. You know, what's wrong with you? And she got all fucking weirded out, and then like shortly thereafter, every time we were at work together, we always got fucking shit from supervisors and everything like that, and it just wasn't a fun place to work. And we worked there through to the next year, so we were working there through the holidays, but we won't get to when we quit there because that'll be in 2006. So let's move on to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, your aunt came down. Your aunt and I didn't see eye to eye really very well because she was kind of like the wicked stepmother,
Yeah.
and your two sisters were the wicked stepsisters. Because I mean, you were a teenager at the time and you were rebelling. So, we went. So Thanksgiving, your sisters or your aunts came down and they rented a house for Thanksgiving, and we were there, and we had Thanksgiving dinner there. Went back to my place. I'm pretty sure. You know, and when your aunt came back into town, I had to essentially move out of your house, out of your apartment, and at my house, it wasn't a good situation because I didn't want to be there. I didn't trust anybody there, and there was no power. So it was like a freezer in the house, and I did everything I could to stay warm. It just was a bad situation for me at home. It was a bad situation for you at home. All we wanted to do was be with each other. Our jobs sucked, and school kept us apart. So that was the end of 2005, leading up to Christmas Eve.
I guess we skipped over going to Apple Hill, didn't we?
Skipped over what?
Going to Apple Hill, because we did.
Oh yeah, okay. We did. We went to a wedding in Tracy, California. You were sick, still, but that was our first road trip. You went to a wedding, and then we were staying at a hotel. You left the wedding early and came to spend time with me, and we went and saw a movie that night. We went and saw Corpse Bride.
Right, at the theater that was there.
At the mall. At the mall.
It must have been AMC or something.
Probably. It was the one at the mall. And then on the way back the next day, we went to Apple Hill, and I was constantly fighting for attention from your sister, who has always been a fucking attention whore when it comes to you. I'm saying it here, and I'm always gonna say it.
I know, and I have photo evidence of you fighting for the front seat.
Yes, and I got that fucking front seat. That was Apple Hill, and then that was in October at some point. And then Christmas. So we all became big friends really quick, and Patrick bought the camera, and we started making movies. We made The Bartender, and we made Ocean Squared, and we made probably the first horror collection movie, The Horror House. And we.
No, I wasn't present for The Bartender.
The Bartender, you were working at Best Buy during The Bartender, and then the next day we all fucked around with the camera at Patrick's house with Ocean Squared.
Ocean Squared.
And we were on and off back and forth at Patrick's house all day long that day, and we would write some stuff, and we would go back home to have sex, just to go back to Patrick's house. We were doing it all the time back then, as people do when they first get together.
Anywhere too. I remember multiple times around.
Well, there is one. Oh, you know what? Okay, should I tell this story? I'll tell this story. So my future family, whether it's Melissa or somebody else, who knows what the future holds.
Sorry.
Once school started for Melissa, we went and saw a movie called The Brothers Grimm, and I got a blowjob in the movie theater. And we attempted to do it one more time after that also.
Yeah.
But Brothers Grimm came to completion before the movie started. During the previews, Constant Gardner may have been playing to bring it back to the beginning. There's no shame in that. You know what? And also at some point we also realized we should probably have sex in the car, and we went and found We went and parked over across from the skate park at Sun Valley, near a playground. And we had sex in the car. And I don't remember if that was '06 or '05, but it's on the border there somewhere. And then also another time, it was snowing really bad at work. And we went, this might have been in 2006, but I'm going to throw it in here with the other stuff. We went, we had break together at Best Buy, and we went and had sex in the car on break out in the parking lot with other cars around. But it was snowing, so it covered the windows.
And we were fogging up the windows, and it was just...
I completed then, too.
I know, and then we came back in, and they're like, yeah, it's really coming down out there. I'm like, yeah, it is.
It's really coming down there.
And we did it in the lighting.
We did during Dracula. We had sex in the theater and got blown in the theater, up in the sound booth.
And you got a Hummer in the dressing room, in the male dressing room, while a bunch of people were.
Did I?
You don't remember that?
Maybe.
It was scandalous because they were all making fun of us and like giving us shit. And
this is the Scandalous Podcast.
The male dressing room, and I locked the door. This happened. And you're like, oh my god.
We haven't done anything crazy since then. Everything else is just regular sex beyond this point.
I mean, that's what happens. Right? The first year you're together, it's just like. And for us, it was like there was so much pent up, like
sexual frustration. 20 years or 10 years of not having sex.
Yeah. It was crazy.
All right, so now that we got that out of the way, we can finish up our year and end this podcast at an hour and 36 minutes. December. So we got real close with Patrick, Eric, and Julie and Matt Podesta, and we all made a deal for Christmas presents. So, we all knew what we were going to get each other. And then on Christmas Eve, we went, after work, we went to Patrick's house. We bought some tacos from Jack in the Box. And went to Patrick's house, and we were just sitting there passing out presents to each other. And then we went back to your place. Also, sometime the day before, or the day of, I think it was the day before, your car broke down. It wouldn't start. We eventually got it started. It was just overheated, or it was the starter, and it wouldn't start. But we eventually got it going and made it to Best Buy for you to work at. But another day before that, also, you ran out of gas right here on the on-ramp at Stead, getting off. And we got a ride back from some guy to Winter's Corner to get gas and put it back in the car to go fill it up.
Anytime, like, someone's like, oh, I'm not going to run out of gas, I tell them the story of me being, like, just, like, less than a quarter mile from the off-ramp of where I was going to get gas and breaking down.
Oh, but we weren't going to get gas.
Well, I had it in my mind. I'm like, well, it's there, so.
But that happened. So then, do you remember? So then we went back to your place for Christmas night, and we went to sleep. And then we woke up the next morning and opened our gifts, and then we went to my place, and I got my gifts that I got from my family. I gave them to them, and then later on we went back to my place, and your mom and your sister came, and to meet my family for the first time. My brother and my dad weren't around. And then that was still Christmas Day, and then we went to the El Dorado buffet for Christmas dinner, and then we went back to your place, just you and me, and your brother came eventually because he was fighting with your sister, and then when he showed up he was fighting with you, and then I think we might have fucking either just went to bed or we took off after that, go back to my place. Do you remember what our Christmas gifts were?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Since you don't
Not
know,
at all.
I bought you the Sonic collection for the GameCube. I bought you, I believe, the Aqua Teen Hunger Force poster, or either a Devil's Rejects poster. I think it was Aqua Teen. And I got you the camera.
Oh, yeah, the Kodak.
So I bought, because that was the one that you wanted. And you know what? I was there with your sister at one point, and I was like, I got Melissa this for Christmas, and she fucking shit herself. because it was like a $350 camera, and it's huge. And you know what? They make cameras that are better than that one now for a fraction of the price and are tiny.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I don't get it, but I did.
My phone takes better pictures.
Exactly,
than that,
exactly. No, that camera takes great pictures, but yeah, I bought you that. That was the gift. And then you got me Cinderella Man on DVD. You got me the King Kong collection that came with Mighty Joe Young and Son of Kong. You got me the Forever Odd book. And, oh, you know what? I also got you Chicago, Four Brothers, Must Love Dogs, and The 40-Year-Old Virgin on DVD.
Oh, crap.
Which is why you have those right now in your collection.
Because you remember.
Because I bought them for you. And that was Christmas. And I don't know what we did for New Year's. We might have been at Eric's place. We might not have been. I don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember. I have no idea.
I have no idea either. But Melissa Hoffman, as you were called back then, that's the year 2005 for us, from beginning to end. There are things that I'm remembering that I didn't say, but they're just minor stuff. But
it was such a big year. I mean, so much happened, and it was memorable, you know, because I think our memories are so tied to our emotions. And there was a lot of emotion in that year. A lot of stuff happening, a lot of new things going on.
Yeah.
It was a crazy year.
So I hope you enjoyed my reminiscence of the year 2005.
I did. I didn't realize so much happened at one time, but I did appreciate it. And thank you for having such an awesome memory.
I try my best. That was episode 22 of the Sequel Podcast, and glad to have you on the show again.
I'm glad to be here.
And we will see you not this Friday, but the following Friday, if I believe I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
I hope you guys stick around to listen to this, whoever you may be listening to this.
We don't have as much sex in the upcoming years, so it's okay.
Yeah, so if you stick around to the end, to this point, you've heard all the good stuff that was right at the end. So you really need to listen to the whole thing. Saying this at the end doesn't really mean anything, but I'll be sure to put it in the description. So I'm Matthew Bonta.
I'm Melissa Hoffman.
And stay classy, Reno.